Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Trainz Model Railroad Edition, where we are finishing up the Needles subdivision today. This is it, guys. This is going to be the last Let's Build episode here. I hope. I'm pretty sure I can get the rest of this done. I obviously haven't done it yet. Today, we are going to take some time and complete the layout room and complete this project because it is about time we wrap it up and move on to something else. So, in between the last episode and this episode, a lot has happened. My computer crapped out and I built a new computer. So this is my first time recording with this new machine. So hopefully everything goes okay. Two things I guess I should mention quickly. If I sound a little bit different, it's because A, my audio recording setup might have changed between my old machine and this machine. And B, my allergies are absolutely out of control right now, and I am just dying. I feel awful. So, hopefully you guys can, I guess, bear with me through my raspy voice. Probably by the end of it, it'll be days from now, so maybe I'll be a little bit better. But for now, there's that. Also, I am filming this in the middle of a spring shower, so if it sounds like somebody is taking a leak in the background, it's just the rain. I'm right next to the window. Okay, so what have I done? I have signaled and put the speed limits. What would that be? Speeded? Signaled and speeded? I kept the main line speed to 20 miles an hour, which I felt was a pretty good speed for a small model like this. I also added some signals here and there around the route, and I have successfully been able to get 4 AI trains driving without much of a problem. I'm going to go into more detail about what I did for the signaling at the end of the episode because I'm really strapped for time right now and my throat is killing me. So we will talk about that at the end, if I remember. But for the most part, yep, there's signals here and there, and that works out pretty well. The other thing that I did between the last episode and this episode is back here. I turned this into more of a adequate staging area, or looks more like a real staging area. I'm not really crazy about how they had the track laid out here, but I'm gonna leave it. You guys, when it's released, you guys can do what you want with that space. But basically, I found this nice texture here. I think it was included with Trainz Model Railroad Edition. It is called Chipboard 1. So it's supposed to just look like some kind of particle board. So I didn't even scale it. I just left it on the default settings, and it looks pretty cool. And I used that in conjunction with another item here, which I think was included in Trainz Model Railroad. And this is the 4M Edging Wood Spline 5-meter repeat. So I tried to make this look like it was kind of built in a little bit more, even though the track is actually technically floating. I put it close enough together that it looks fairly acceptable. I mean, maybe it could be tweaked a little bit more, but it does look like it is on some plywood. I gotta clean that up. This wasn't like this when I looked at it last time. Let's do that real quick. So today what we're gonna do is finish off this layout room once and for all. And that's gonna be a matter of putting in the fascia, putting in the flooring, putting in a ceiling, and that sort of thing. And we'll see where that goes. After this, guys, I'm going to do another episode that is just cinematics of this. And then we will release it. That video will come out at the same time that I release this. The release location is yet to be determined, but I will, of course, let you know. I'm also debating making some kind of a session to go with this when it's released. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet, but that is also a possibility for a video series as well. But technically, this is going to be the last Let's Build of Needles. And then we'll move on to another project. We will get back to the Pennsylvania and Berwind very soon. I have to do a few more things, and then I can get that going. I got to settle down in real life a little tiny bit too before I can pick that series back up. But we will be back at that soon enough. And lots of other projects are on the way. But that's it for now. Let's get into the time lapse before I forget everything else. Alright guys, it has now been a week since I shot that intro and since I recorded this time-lapse that you're about to watch, so hopefully I can keep everything straight in my head. It's been a little bit, even though it's been a week, I still feel like crap, my allergies are still pretty bad. And the weather still sucks outside too. It's actually snowing outside today, if you can believe that, in New York. This is like the worst spring I've ever experienced, and I am just sick and tired of it, and it is just making me feel just awful. Anyway, let's talk about some news first. I got some news for you guys, some developments that have happened in the last week. These videos have been so sparse lately, as my buddy put it, life just took the wheel. And that's exactly what happened. I had a lot going on recently. I had to go to a funeral just the other day for my wife's grandfather, if you follow me on Twitter, and everything that led up to that. This whole apartment search and work and all that kind of thing, so my time has been just so scarce and it's just awful. But the good news is, we did find a new place, an apartment. It's a full house, and it has an extra room that I'll be able to turn into a recording space. So, I will be able to produce more videos again and get that quality back the way that it used to be, and be able to make more videos more frequently once I actually have my own space. So that's going to be really great. The bad news is that we can't move in until June 1st. So got a couple of weeks, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Still lots to do before then. Next up on the news list, if you haven't heard already, I've been invited to join the Jointed Rail team. So I'm super pumped about that. I'm so excited. Mike over at Jointed Rail messaged me on Skype the other day, excuse me, to just invite me along and work with them producing some new content. So what does that mean? I don't know. We'll see what it means. I've got a lot of big ideas that I want to work on with these guys, and I've thrown some of them out there, and they all seem pretty interested in teaming up and kind of co-producing some new routes and some new content. And I know a lot of you guys have already messaged me and said, "Hey, does this mean that all your routes and your stuff is going to be payware now?" And no, I mean that's not going to be the case. Needles is going to be freeware when it is released, and so will be the PNB. But that's not to say that I am not anticipating working on some payware content with them. Those are things that we have to address. But along with that, Mike said that he's going to set up a part of the Jointed Rail page for me. So we're still working on developing that, and I will make an announcement once that is live. And I think that is going to be where Needles is going to be hosted, as well as my other content, my other routes, and any skins that I do and that sort of thing. So I'll let you guys know as soon as that is live. Just stay tuned to my Twitter, and obviously stay tuned here too, because I'll make an announcement once that happens. So let's see what's next. So yeah, this is it, guys. This is Needles. We are wrapping it up, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I had to make some modifications to a few things. One of them is what you're looking at right now, and this is the fascia. And I really wanted to have sort of rounded edges and make it really flowy and organic, like the track plan had it laid out. Unfortunately, the way that the dig holes work and the way that the fascias are, everything is square. So you can't easily round things. I'll show you guys in the outro. What a lot of people do to get that rounded look is that they use retaining walls, and they flip them around backwards so that the base of the retaining wall, like the ground, it fills in that gap between the fascia and the squared off edge of the tile. And that does work pretty well. Except that it's a pain in the butt. And I couldn't do it here because I couldn't find a retaining wall that had a similar texture to the sand. So that really kind of sucked. So I had to go back and modify this whole thing and square everything off. And in doing so, I ended up having this whole area that's all new. I actually had to put down some new, I guess, details. I'm not crazy about it, but I did the best that I could given what I had to do, because you can't even do diagonals, and that's part of the problem. If I could just do a diagonal, that would be fine, but unfortunately I couldn't even get a diagonal. I tried a lot of different techniques. There was a big gap actually a little bit earlier in when I first started this fascia project, and then where we are now. I had to cut, and I had to just like figure out what the heck to do. So yeah, you can see right here, this is one of the areas that I had to, that's new. I squared it off, and I ended up putting a, sort of a, I guess a storage facility sort of thing, support facility for the facility there. And I put some details and stuff. I actually also ended up revising it again off camera, so you'll see in the outro, it's a little bit different from what you're gonna see me put in right here. But again, yeah, along with having to do these fascias and adjust that, I had to do some modifications to the terraforming, and it's just, I don't know, I'm not crazy about it. It kind of makes it feel more rigid to me and less organic. But I don't know, you guys will tell me all about it, I'm sure, what your opinion is. But here's where I'm just starting to put in this parking lot and all these details, and I really wasn't ready for it. So the details that I put in at first, I was just not happy with, and I really struggled to figure out what to do, because it caught me off guard. My mind was in this idea of completing the layout room, putting in the floor, putting in the walls, putting in the fascia and all that stuff, and now I have to like put in a new scene, and I wasn't prepared for this scene, so it's not the greatest in the beginning. In fact, I probably should have just cut out some of this, but I figured I'd show you guys, you know, the thought process going into actually trying to make this adjustment and fix this whole thing. But it is a little bit different. I thought it would work to put in, you know, of course, some tractor trailers and some other storage stuff. I put in a few railroad crossing signs and some ties and track and stuff like that, and rails. One thing that I did like is these pipes that I'm putting in here, these tanks. I don't know what you could say that they're used for, maybe diesel fuel storage or anything, but as I was driving around the last couple of weeks driving to work past the railroad tracks, I drive past a lot of local industries, and I noticed that a lot of them have these big tanks all over the place. I have no idea what the heck they're used for, but they're there, and I thought it was just a nice detail to try and wrap up that scene and complete it a little tiny bit better. I do kind of like the way that the railroad tracks go behind everything, and it kind of obscures your view of the trains, so you're not like directly looking at the trains the whole time. It gives you a little bit of like depth to the scene, so that it's not just right in your face, and you can see foreground, middle ground, and background, and that's one of the main objectives in photography and cinematography and artwork in general, is always have a foreground object, a middle ground object, and a background object, because it gives depth. And especially with something that is 2D, you know, even though that this is a 3D game technically, you're still looking at it on a computer monitor, so it is 2D. So you do want to use some of those same theories and principles to get a good solid look out of a scene. And here you can see, this is what I'm throwing in here, is some of these crossbucks and stuff like that. And I think I might be mistaken. Some of this, I think, is more used for, like the DOT would manage this sort of thing, the Department of Transportation. But it just seemed appropriate to at least have a few of those things kicking around in the back of a rail yard. I've definitely seen stuff like that. But I didn't want to overdo it. And again, here I have to go through and retexture some of this stuff and adjust the fascia so that it actually met up with the side of the terrain, all the terraforming. I'm not sure if there's a better way to actually like line that up to get like a smooth look, but I just kind of used the way that the splines go with like height and depth, and just use that. This is one spot that I hate. I hate this corner right here. This is just drives me nuts that has to be there, because I mean, I don't know. I guess I could theoretically put in like a gas station or something like that and have a road kind of going in there, but I'm just not thrilled with that at all. Coming up into this area is just too much depth for me. It's like a lot of negative space. What I end up trying to do is fill it with a diner. I saw in the original track plan that there's supposed to be a diner like tucked into the corner, but it's supposed to be right next to the railroad tracks. It was just not going to happen here. One thing I tried to do also with this is have the road kind of go off the edge of the fascia, but because it was coming at like a 45-degree angle, it wouldn't match up right, you know? You have to come in at a 90-degree angle to square it off so that there's not like a whole bunch of polygons hanging off the fascia, or the road, you know, just ends, sort of. So I ended up just doing this sort of dead end sort of thing. I looked up some, I was trying to find some like beat up cars and motorcycles, because I kind of pictured this as, if you've ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn, that was such a great horror movie. But the bar that they go to, I was just kind of picturing that in my head, and just put all these like motorcycles and pickup trucks and stuff outside. But I was a little upset to find that there's not a huge selection of motorcycles or pickup trucks on the download station, so I ended up just using the standard whatever pickup truck. There was a couple of motorcycles that I tossed in there, but that was it, with like 1 or 2 Harley Davidsons, and they're red. So I was really hoping for like a black one, or I don't know. And you know, a lot of you will probably say that I could take it in and retexture it or customize it, but the thing is, if I do that, then I can't release it to you guys. You know, like once you guys get it, or once I put it out on the download station or host it on my website, it's going to look different. So you're going to end up with a different product than what you see here. So I'm trying to keep it, you know, with stuff that I can give you guys. If I can make content that's releasable, then I'll do that. Again, here I had to adjust this scene. Oh, another thing about this turntable, it's broken. So I haven't done it yet because I haven't recorded this outro. A lot of you guys pointed out that you didn't like that turntable, and you might be in luck because it is derailing all of the engines that go across it. So I might be replacing it with the one that you guys have been suggesting from Trainz Forge. I'm gonna check it out right after I record this, and then obviously before I record the outro. So we'll see. It'll be a surprise for everybody. And lastly, yep, I'm putting in these walls here, and at first I noticed that they snapped around and it was kind of annoying, but then I realized how convenient it was that they just lined up perfectly when you snapped them into place. So that actually kind of worked out. And one of the other things about this room is that there's no door. I don't know where to put the door. On the track plan, it didn't, it showed the door like behind a lift out section or something like that. Personally, I don't really care. It's like, this is just it's a train room, the trains run. I'm not an interior designer. I'm not really worried about what the feng shui of the room is. As long as it kind of looks like a model railroad and operates like a model railroad, I'm happy. But as far as it being like some super detailed room with shelves and walkways and doors and stuff, I mean, I don't know. That's not what I'm doing this for. You know, I want to run trains. I'm not. If I wanted to build houses, I'd be playing The Sims or something. I think that's about all I got here. The time lapse is about to run out, so we will let the time lapse run, and I will be right back with the outro. Now this is my kind of place. That was just a quote from Dusk Till Dawn, in case you haven't seen that movie. By the way, don't go watching that movie if you're too young. That is not a kid's movie at all. It is a great horror movie, though, if you're into horror movies and you are of age. Do check it out. That is my take on the From Dusk Till Dawn bar, which I do remember the name, but I'm not going to say it here on YouTube. Trying to stay kind of family friendly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look around. So yep, this is one of the last scenes that I had to put in here. Again, like I said just a moment ago, I am not crazy about it, but it's there. It's doing its thing. It's fine. We'll get by with it. I said I was going to talk about the signals. So what am I going to talk about with the signals? What do you guys want to know about the signals? They signal things. I put a couple of these here. The only signals that I used are from Jointed Rail, and they are the Safe Train 04s, and I used the left side and the right side ones, and that they work pretty well. But one thing I want to show you, which was an interesting bug, let me or something, I don't know what the heck was going on. If I put a signal here, let me flip it, watch what happens. Let's see if it'll do it right now. If I try to move it, look at that. Why is it over here? Like what? Why does it think that the railroad tracks are over here? So I was struggling with this to get this. That's why these aren't lined up, because they were just not, this signal was just jumping all the way over here, and I couldn't, I mean, I can't get it back. I can't get it to where it needs to go. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know why it thinks that there's track there. This was happening in a couple other places around the route too, so very strange indeed. We have a signal over here to control the Amtrak trains coming out of Needles Station here. And we have another signal here going into the staging. I used these invisible signals to manage the AI trains because the AI trains need to have they kind of need to be micromanaged sometimes. So I used these invisible signals so that there wasn't just a whole bunch of regular signals all over the place when there really didn't need to be. But this helps control the AI trains going in and out of the staging yard and working their way through these junctions over here. And yes, these bends are insanely tight. What are you gonna do? It is what it is. It's behind the scenes, and it works, so I don't mind it. There is a handful of invisible signals here. And let's see, I used a small dwarf signal over here to control this yard. And up here I had to use the gantry signals because there was absolutely no way that I was going to get the regular signals on the ground. But these are also 04 signals. I think 04 is just like the basic 3-aspect signal. It just basically gives a clear or an approach or a stop. That's pretty much all it indicates. I didn't think there was any need for anything more advanced. There's no huge interchanges that require any, like, I guess these 06s, and I think there's 08s. Yeah, like these like triple aspect, big daddy, big boys here. We didn't really need any of those. Although maybe we could have used one or two up here. I don't really know what they work exactly, like the type of aspects that they give. I know they give advanced indications for junctions and the direction of the junction and stuff like that, but it's not something I'm super familiar with, so I didn't want to overcomplicate things for no reason at all. So I just kept it simple with the 04 signals, and like I said, I had about 4 AI trains running all at once, so it was going pretty good. In fact, I probably should have done this in live mode. Let me do that. Let me jump. Let me get a AI session going, and then we will finish we'll finish out the closing with that. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Much better. Although these guys are being a little bit stubborn. The Santa Fe engine just keeps stopping and forgetting all of the rules. Same with this guy. Go. But we got them running. Let's finish out this episode here. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about last. The signals. Oh, let's take a look at this little detail that I did over here. This is what I was talking about before. I did move all of the detail stuff from in this corner over to here by the pipes and the tanks. Feels a little bit better to me. Added some assorted junk and stuff like that in here. Just the kind of nonsensical garbage that you'd see laying around a rail yard. It seemed to make a lot of sense to me, and it's cool. I don't mind it. One thing I don't like is that this space still feels pretty empty. I debated making it into like the standard issue parking lot, but I decided against that just because it just didn't seem right for this. So I left it open, and I guess maybe it makes some sense. Maybe there's some more debris and trucks and stuff like that that I could put in there, but it's fine for now. I guess last few thoughts about this whole setup. Like I said, the layout room isn't the greatest. There's no access in or out. And it just feels really cramped. It's just really cramped. So I don't really like that. Like, the ceiling gets in the way, all these walls get in the way. Like, I kind of wish that there was some kind of a way to like have like a hitbox that like, I won't go through these walls. Like, it would just stop the camera. I think when I was working with N3V to develop my Franklin Avenue model railroad for Trainz Model Railroad, I think there was a tag or something like that we could put into the walls to make them have that sort of like bump effect. What in the world is going on here? See, this is what I was worried about. The traffic stopper is right here, and then there's another one over here. So now these guys are stuck in the middle, and that gate is up. All right, I'm gonna have to do some more testing and see exactly what's going on. I think they're all trying to go to the bar. I think that's all that's going on here. So yeah, I think some thoughts. I think things could be better. Like I was saying in the time lapse, the edge of the fascia. A lot of people use the what do you call it? I already forgot the name. The retaining walls backwards to get that sort of effect. And I'm sitting here asking myself, why hasn't anybody made a fascia with that texture on the side of it, just like it's a retaining wall, but instead of the retaining wall, it's the fascia material, and then you have the surface here that kind of covers it up. And then you could easily do like rounded edges and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that's something that I can try to make. I don't know. It's an idea though. Another idea that came into my mind that really I think would be kind of a cool development is like pre-made layout rooms. Like I don't really care to be putting up all these walls and stuff like that. It would be kind of neat to just download a train room that's just sort of like 4 walls and a door and a closet and like have different sizes. And then you go in and just lay out your baseboards and work within the confines of and the limitations of that room. So maybe like, you know, there would be a spare bedroom size and then like basement size, 60 by 20 basement and stuff like that. So maybe that's something that that we can work on, because it would definitely make this model railroad like aspect a little bit more enjoyable to actually have a real space to work in. Otherwise, like this just feels like it's Trainz a New Era, but with walls. Like, I don't know. It just feels really restricting, and it could be a lot better, in my opinion. So I don't know. That's just another thought of mine. So maybe that might be some stuff that I could work on developing before I build another model railroad, because some stuff is just really annoying. And then like the shadows too. Like right now I'm playing at noon so that the light is directly straight down, but like all of these things cast shadows, and it's kind of annoying. What's going on here? I don't want shadows, you know? Like the shadows from the backdrops, you could see one here. It's just totally unnecessary. Like if I go into quick drive, hello? Go into quick drive and I change the time. Let's go to like 3 o'clock. All right, that's too late. How about 9? Okay, there we go. So that's a good example. So you can see this big shadow here. I don't know if that's coming from the backdrop or if that's coming from the wall. Here's another one. This one's coming off the backdrop, and it's just totally unnecessary. Like I don't like that, and I wish there was a way to get rid of it. So I'll switch back to 12, and that's the only way that I know to hide. And I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that this like ceiling doesn't cast a shadow as well. Why? What is happening here? Go, dude. There's not even a signal here. I don't know. So this is like one of those like weird little hiccups that you can encounter. I don't really know what is holding this dude up right now. Switch? Nope. All right, well, what if I just tell it to stop? Stop. Go. Sometimes they just get really stupid. You have to tell them to stop and start over, and that doesn't seem to be the case. I'll just take some control for a minute here. And that gate is still not working. All right, well, whatever. Bugs to be worked out in beta testing before I release it. So I guess I'll just get a list going. I guess the last thing talking about beta testing is this turntable and roundhouse. When we were testing it out the other day, engines were derailing like right in here. I did manage to fix it. I was going to replace it with the Trainz Forge turntable and roundhouse, but when I downloaded it, I couldn't figure out how to connect the roundhouse to the turntable. Like it just didn't seem like it was going to match up. So I don't know, maybe I'm missing something and I'm just being completely stupid about it, but I couldn't figure it out. So I made this one work. I fixed it. I'm sure there's an easy solution for the one at Trainz Forge. Trainz Forge. Ooh. What it is, I don't know. Let's see, continue schedule. So right now I've got 4 AI trains going, and This Santa Fe guy, he's waiting for the Amtrak train to go by, and as soon as he passes out of this block, right here, he passes that signal, he will get a green light over here, or he'll get a yellow light, rather, and he'll be able to proceed. I had to throw in a couple signals in the midway over here, otherwise, what is going on? This guy is being really stupid. Otherwise, trains would just be waiting for like an eternity for somebody to get over to the Barstow yard and clear the signals. Something fishy is going on here. And of course it would happen during a video. Did this guy stall? Waiting for X. Alright, whatever. This is just an absolutely disastrous example of the AI trains in the signaling system, but at least they're not driving into each other. So the signals are working. I just don't know what is the problem, though. Somebody is giving a red signal someplace, and it's holding everybody else up, is what I am understanding. But again, I put in like a minute of my thought into getting these AI trains started, so just to have something going while I recorded. So that's that. What else before I wrap this up? What am I forgetting? I don't know. I think that's about it. Let's get an overview if we can. Kind of sneak in here. Use the shift key to go slowly. Yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of that. Again, the wood paneling fascia is not the greatest. I wish there was some more variety. It was either that or the black curtain. If I did the black curtain, then I needed to add legs to the tabletops and stuff like that, and I was just not feeling that level of detail because it's just not something that I'm really that interested in. I want to build scenes and build trains and train tracks and stuff, but I don't really care to build this layout room. It's just, yeah, blah to me. But the train tracks look great. Everything looks good. The signaling seems to be sort of working to a point. Go. You gotta have a green signal by now. Continue schedule. Let's see what happens. But yeah, so I mean, once we get this out there, you guys can give me your feedback, and you know, there was a lot of things that I learned in the process, things that I would definitely do differently. I don't think I would go directly track for track with the track plan. We had to make a lot of modifications. With the cement plant, there was supposed to be some kind of a trucking industry over here as well as the cement plant. And what else did we have to do? Oh, there was the Union Pacific interchange that we had to omit out of here. And a few other things that we had to change just a little tiny bit. So some modifications here and there. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool layout. Just to run some trains on, watch them go in circles, and you can program them. I've got the Amtrak train program to go to each station and do a loop. So that's kind of fun. So not a whole lot of operating potential, I don't think, in this particular track plan. That not a lot of switching. It's mostly just to mainline operation, watch your trains go in circles, sort of thing. But along with the staging yard back here, you can fit a pretty good variety of trains. So there'd be a lot of dispatch management sort of gameplay, which I think is pretty cool. This guy might be stalled out. He might not be able to make up this grade. That's another bug. So that's something else that I would do differently. And also, when it came to like designing this layout room, I would definitely have laid out the fascia first before cutting away the floors, just because it got a little confusing and it was difficult to actually make these the fascia boards straight and lined up without actually having the grid available to look at. And just so you guys are aware, you can delete dig holes. You can kind of see interspersing, there's these shadows, these little dots that are showing up down there. When you're in surveyor mode, right at the tip of my mouse icon right there it's like 1 pixel. It's like gray. That is the object that is the dig hole. So when you're in surveyor and you click the delete button, you have to click that one little tiny pixel, and it will delete the dig hole. So yeah, just in case you guys were wondering about that. And it looks like he is not gonna stop, maybe. All right, well, that's, I think, gonna do it for this episode, guys. Next episode in Needles will be cinematics, and then we will release it, and I will announce where and when the release will happen, and where you will be able to download it. Hopefully there will be a content dependency pack to go along with it, so that way you won't be missing tons of objects. As I said, most of this is built in or found on the download station. So it should be pretty easy to find, but anything else that I can package up, I am going to package up for you guys. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a lot of fun. I learned a lot. What the next series is going to be, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I definitely need to get back to the Pennsylvania Berwind and do some work there and get some more episodes of that out. And I do have a few tutorials in mind. A lot of you guys have been asking me about AI trains, signaling, and the Atlas crossings and stuff like that. So I will probably produce a video on that pretty soon. And somehow this guy ended up on the wrong track. Oh, this is a great way to end this episode. What do you guys call this on the forums? A Mexican standoff or something like that? Oh my God. Well, that's it, guys. We're going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all of the love and support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.